And Gladius.
Wow.
So when I call shield, bring it up, yeah, and close in a little bit.
Okay, what am I doing with my Gladius?
Just have it poking out the side.
Okay.
Shield. Yeah, get your sword up, Cole. Yeah, although you see, you're letting us down already.
Yeah.
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 And now move a or you know, just to move you forward, and just see if you can keep in line with those two legionnaires. So move a Yeah, and it is literally a moving barricade. Anybody trying to come in at an angle, you've got all of those things there, yeah, and bang, you're onto me.
Yeah.
All right, so they are formidable, really.
And what happens then if somebody, you know, I get sort of wounded, or I go down, or one of the guys breaks formation? How do you?
Guy behind steps in.
The guy behind fills my gap.
Fills your gap straight away.
Right, okay. Yeah. So even with the huge numbers that the Britons had, I mean, they completely outnumbered the Roman army, would they still not have had a chance of, you know, overwhelming such a force?
No, the discipline, they stand their ground. The Romans, with their discipline, their training, they'll beat them every time in open warfare.
Right.
The Britons didn't stand a chance. The slaughter, absolute brutal slaughter.
You've got a completely machine-like approach to the thing. You pushed against the enemy with the shield. You then took your little short sword, and when you got the chap off balance, your blade went up into the great vessels, the heart and the lungs, and you spilled his insides on the floor, which is why you needed studded boots. Because give it 10 minutes and it was like a skating rink of blood and guts and mess. Absolutely hideous. And once you'd not got them off balance, the next thing was that you discovered that your man in the front line was getting very tired. You could pick this up for about 7 minutes. And so he pushed against the enemy and then stood aside so the man behind him could come through and take up position in the front line. So every 7 minutes you change the front line. The fellow who's stopped fighting goes to the back, where he gets a drink of water, has a sandwich or whatever. Maybe he's got a wound or two that needs binding up. And the veterans are at the back. The people who are now retired soldiers are in the rear. So they're saying, well done, boy, you did good. You know, and they bind up the wounds, they raise their confidence if they're starting to feel a bit down, and then put them back in again. You fight every 40 minutes for 7 minutes. And this awful thing rotates. Can you imagine opposing yourself to this machine? It would be heartbreaking. You'd try again and again. And of course, they all look the same. These steel things, it's like fighting robots, awful. And that is the way the fighting went on.
And so the Romans continued to advance, cutting down Boudicca's men in their thousands. Soon the efficient Roman machine was too much to bear, and the Britons started to run. As the British fell, the cavalry entered the fray, and the mass of fighters were driven back to the embrace of their camp. The Romans made no distinction between warrior and follower. Men, women, and children were all put to the sword.
Now, what happened at the final battle was truly horrific. The Britons were gradually pushed back and back and back towards their wagon train,